Hi, I created this video basically to convey my visions, my mission as a classroom teacher, and what I expect to achieve with your help. So I'd probably call it expectations. And number one would be, the most important would be to create a safe environment. Get that spelling wrong all the time. So, what I mean by create a safe environment, it means that in the classroom, children should feel free to ask questions, to share their opinions, not feel that, oh, my answer is wrong and I can't raise my hand. And that usually, that nature comes from a very young age, from school, where the wrong answer is not encouraged, where parents sometimes get angry if you give the incorrect answer. So a safe environment means, okay, I can say whatever I feel like, I can share my opinion, and I can ask questions, I can laugh loudly, I can, within the, you know, boundaries of those rules that we create. But at the same time, that's one of the most important things that I hope to create in my classroom, a safe environment. And having said that, I expect the child to also come from a safe environment, because sometimes we are not aware of how we talk, our tone of voice. Sometimes we raise it really high, and children can get really, really scared. So we have to help each other, the teacher, the parents, and the child should know that, okay, you're raising your voice way too loud and I'm not comfortable, I'm feeling scared. When a child feels scared, their mind blanks off. They can't think, they can't learn, they can't give you the correct answer, the answer that you want. So the most important thing is creating a safe environment. No shouting, no physical abuse, no mental abuse, keeping those things in mind. And sometimes we say things, a teacher can also say things that can hurt a child. So we have to be very, very careful and keep those things in mind. The second most important thing for me is asking questions. No question is silly, Children should be encouraged to ask. That creates a curious mind. And kids are born curious. If you recall your child's early days, they're always touching things, putting them in their mouth, grasping for them, looking at them, trying to talk to them, eat them, whatever it be. And somehow along the line, as they grow up, we tend to curb that. We tend to put a stop to it by saying, don't ask such stupid questions, or that's a very silly questions, or no, being sarcastic. And if a child asks a question such as, why doesn't it have 5 legs? It's not really silly. It's about DNA, genetics, and you need to be a microbiologist to answer that if you can. And so give it some thought and ask them a question. Prompt them to find the answers. Don't give the answer to them. Don't do their homework for them. That's ridiculous. If your child can't do their homework, okay, the teacher didn't teach the lesson properly. So go back, ask your teacher, or let's go to the internet and find out. Be part of the community. Let's not play blame games. Let's find out. Let's have that mind, inquiring mind. So asking questions are really important. Another thing is creativity. When a child feels safe, when a child starts asking questions, that child slowly becomes creative, if they're not already are creative. I recall my little son Abir, when he was a child, 4-5 years old, and he still does it. He would eat his bread with tea, and he'd keep playing with his bread and biting off little pieces. And he'd come up with these odd shaped bread pieces and says, look, this is Africa, this is Kenya, this is a tortoise eating a hamburger or something silly, and it would be so funny because it was ridiculous. And don't laugh at when your child is asking ridiculous questions or creating silly things or doing funny things, or something out of the box. Encourage that, give them things to play with, odd things like a peg, a piece of wire, a cotton wool, and just say make something and challenge them. So that creativity is what I need to encourage in my students, and I hope you can support me by encouraging them at home. I think one last factor that I'd like to add is making mistakes. Making mistakes is the only way that you can learn something new. If you don't make mistakes, you haven't learned anything, really. You haven't taken risks. So mistakes give me, the doorway, the window view to see how your child's mind is working, where the thinking has come and stopped. There's something blocking that thinking process. And that is the purpose of assessment. That is what you can do at home. Look for mistakes in their thinking and do not discourage them by saying, how could you get 2 times 2 4 wrong, or how come you don't understand this silly basic simple thing? Don't do that. Try and figure out where the thinking is wrong, and then slowly work at it. So those are the things that I expect to influence in my classroom. I expect kids to be get that feeling of safety in my classroom, to be happy, to ask questions, to be creative, and to make lots of mistakes, though I encourage them not to make the same mistake over and over again, and that is sheer laziness. But it could also be some learning difficulties which a professional can handle. So we should look at it with a calm mind, with loving minds, and let's hope that you and I together can create a really happy classroom for your child. Have a good day.